This video is about Florida. I've got 9 things I love about Florida, along with 2 things that I hate. So if you're going to Florida, listen up. By the way, no Disney. Love it or hate it, I'm not even going to talk about Disney or any other amusement park in this video. The first thing I love about Florida is the key lime pie. That's right, this is like the special cuisine of Florida. You can find it anywhere. It comes originally from Key West, so they say, but it will delight you no matter where you are or what you're doing. Order a key lime pie, or at least a piece of key lime pie, and enjoy. The next thing I love about Florida is St. Augustine, settled by the Spanish in the 16th century. And it's a wonderful place to walk around. You can check out the old fort. There's some wonderful restaurants nearby, and you can take in the history that's there in St. Augustine, Florida. Now, one thing you've got to love about Florida is the beaches. You're never far from a beach wherever you are in Florida. You're driving distance. Hop in your car and get to a beach. Whether you go down to the Keys, you're up near Tampa, Clearwater Beach, or even the Panhandle. They've got some of the most beautiful beaches in America. Now, not every beach is pristine. The one near Miami has some seaweed, and sometimes the beaches are crowded. The surf's not always great either. But listen, you can't complain. There's a beach in any direction in Florida. Hey, Miami Beach.
Yeah.
All right. Prettiest beach you've ever seen? No, but it's still a good warm water, right?
Yeah.
All right. It is warm. Another thing you have to love about Florida is the sunrises and sunsets. It seems like every morning and every evening, there's oftentimes clouds that kind of enhance the sunset, and you have these orange and purple and pink glows. I love Florida for the sunrises and sunsets. Another thing to love about Florida is Columbia Restaurant. This place oozes with history and culture. It was founded in 1905. It's the oldest restaurant in Florida. In fact, they say that Babe Ruth used to dine here. And if you go in there, you'll see that it's decorated with this kind of eccentric Cuban flair. The food is fantastic. I recommend the 1905 salad, which is a tableside salad that your server will come out and toss it, make it right in front of you. It is delicious. And then don't forget to try the bread pudding. You can't go wrong with the bread pudding. But you can just feel the history in this place. It's one of the most famous restaurants in all of Florida. In fact, there's several satellite locations, but if you're in Tampa, you can't miss going to the original Columbia restaurant, and you go from room to room. It actually takes up an entire city block. Over 1,000 people can fit in this restaurant, and even on a given weekday, it's busy during lunch hour and dinner. And so don't miss out on Columbia Restaurant for delicious food and a fantastic atmosphere. Cuban-American restaurant. Next thing I love about Florida, the Kennedy Space Center. People go to Disney, they go to Universal, they hit the theme parks, and oftentimes they don't think about going to see the Kennedy Space Center. In fact, we did a video on the Kennedy Space Center that you can check out another time, but suffice to say, you don't want to miss the Kennedy Space Center, especially if you happen to be there during a launch. You can actually reserve a place, or even if you're anywhere near the Space Coast there, you can check out a launch. In fact, I saw a launch at night, and it was an amazing thing to see. It lights up the entire sky, and there's an enormous rumbling sound, almost sounds like an earthquake. Next thing I love about Florida is Little Havana. You're in Miami, you want to check out Little Havana. There's some unique places, some restaurants, some artsy places there. It's not a real defined area, but it is a neighborhood in Miami that you can check out. And we found a chocolate shop there that was just phenomenal. Some of the tastiest chocolate that I've had anywhere in the States. And so check out Little Havana, and that's another great thing about Florida. Okay, one place you don't want to miss, and one of my favorite parts of Florida, is Wynwood Walls. This is a little tiny area in the heart of Miami that used to be the ghetto, but it's turned around over the last few years, and you have some of the best examples of urban artwork, street art, on display there. And you'll go there, there's a lot of crowds, the whole neighborhood's turned around. It's one of the best examples of gentrification that you'll find anywhere. But you walk through and you get to see this urban art on display. In fact, you can even go into several buildings where there's even more artwork on display and for sale. And it is something to behold. I loved walking through it. So did my son. We had a great time. We got some pictures. Anyway, check out Wynwood Walls. If you're in the Miami area, you don't want to miss it. It's maybe one of the cooler things in all of Florida. The next thing I love about Florida that you absolutely want to see if you're down and exploring, driving around in the southern part of the state, is US Route 41. Now, everybody's heard of Alligator Alley, but Alligator Alley is just a big freeway. You're not going to see anything there. Instead, what you want to do is you want to take Route 41, which kind of straddles the northern edge of the Everglades National Park and the Big Cypress National Preserve. This is a beautiful area. If you pull off to the side of the road, there's a few places you can stop. You can take some of the boat rides that go into the Everglades. There's a few trails you can hike on. We pulled off, we saw a few alligators in a pond, and there's even some camping areas if you're really adventurous. But this is maybe one of the more beautiful places, not just in Florida, but maybe in the country. It was just amazing to see the natural scenery of southern Florida, and you don't want to miss it. And so skip Alligator Alley and go on US Route 41. That area between Naples and Miami is pristine and beautiful. You don't want to miss it. Okay, now I've told you the things I love about Florida. What do I hate? There's a couple things that I really hate about Florida. And once again, I'm not talking about the amusement parks or Disney or anything that has to do with that. First thing I hate about Florida is the water. The water in Florida, the drinking water that is disgusting. Some places especially taste just miserable. In the Orlando area, I swear, no matter what hotel you're in, the tap water just tastes foul. In fact, you can even smell it sometimes. I don't know where it comes from. I assume it comes from a well, and it's treated. I think it's safe, but it just tastes and smells disgusting. Now, some places, it might be a little better. It seems like over in Tampa, the water was a little more fresh. But listen, you don't come to Florida to just taste the drinking water. Grab a bottled water if you need to, and you'll live. Next thing I hate about Florida is the bugs. Listen, if you're driving your car, just plan on it getting plastered by a million bugs. And I don't even know what these bugs are. I think there's a combination between skeeters and flies and mosquitoes. And I don't know, but if you're driving through Florida, particularly in the evening time, your car is gonna get plastered. In fact, there are some instances where you're driving, you go through a swarm, it's almost like it's raining bugs on your car. You'll need to stop at times at a gas station just to scrub it off your windshield. And so, gotta love Florida, but the bugs, pass. Okay guys, there you have it. 9 things I love about Florida, along with 2 things that I hate. Thank you for watching the video. Also, a special thanks to my son David, who was traveling with me. You saw him, and he helped me put things together. Last but not least, just remember, don't drink that water. Ooh.